what it has done to San Francisco culture and the San Francisco political culture, I think, has been very positive. Particularly in races where there are 3 or 4 candidates who are roughly of the same ideological bent, where there are, for example, 3 or 4 progressive candidates, all of whom really, really want the job. And think about, we had a race recently for supervisor in District 9, where both Jim and I live. We had 3 candidates. We had Mark Sanchez, who was the president of the school board. We had David Campos, and we had Eric Casada. And David was an attorney who had worked for the school district, was on the police commission, and Eric Casada was a long-time housing advocate and affordable housing guy, nonprofit housing developer. All 3 of them were good candidates. Any one of them would have made a fine supervisor. And I was worried, since they all wanted this job. Nobody was just kind of running for the hell of it. They all thought they should get elected. They all wanted it. They were all raising money. They all had cadres of strong supporters who really, really liked them. And I thought, God, this is going to get ugly. God, this is going to get nasty, because that's the kind of race, like we're seeing with, Poizner and Whitman. People go out there and attack each other, and in old-fashioned politics, that's the way you won. You went out there and you said, you know what, vote for me because those 2 guys are bums. And you tried to knock your opponents down, as well as talking about how good you were. Well, I moderated a panel at the Bernal Heights Democratic Club with these 3 candidates and a few others, and it was remarkable the extent to which all of them said, he'd be a great supervisor. He's a great guy, and I would love to see him as supervisor, but I'd love to see me more, because I would be better. But here's why I would be good, not why he's a chump. All right? The guy who won, we were just talking about this before the panel too, David Campos won. He got second-place votes from both of the other 2 candidates. He got more second-place votes than either the other 2 did from his other 2 opponents. And I think the reason that he did is he went out there and he was a nice guy candidate. He did not go around attacking either of his opponents. And he went to the communities that they were in. Eric Casada was an immigrant organizer and a low-income housing guy. Well, David Campos was an immigrant who came to this country speaking no English at 14, and he went out and talked to Eric's folks, and he didn't say, vote for me because Eric's a bum. He said, Eric's a great guy. And if you like Eric, well, like me too. And then he went to Mark Sanchez's people who were very interested in the schools. And he said, I was an attorney for the schools, and I'm really involved in the schools too. And if you vote for Mark, that's great. He's a good guy. But you get a second choice, and maybe I'm your guy. And it really turned what could have been an ugly race into a much more civil affair. We actually saw that a few years before in a supervisor's race in District 5, where a bunch of the candidates actually got together and signed a pledge. We're not going to attack each other. Because attacking each other doesn't do you that much good in a race like this. So that's one of the lessons that I took away from this.